Good morning. New footage was released with two of the victims of the Idaho murders. We have the latest.
Plus new things coming to Muncie. See what is planned to open today. Get the coffee ready and open up those eyes. You're waking up with Cardinal weather.
From Ball State Unified Media, you're waking up with Cardinal weather, live from the Ball State Weather Center.
Good Friday morning to you. You're waking up with Cardinal weather. I'm Catherine Segal.
And I'm Tegan O'Mara.
A new business opens in town today. I took a look at the new coffee shop on its way to Muncie. I'm currently on East Jackson Street, where Tall Timber Coffee Shop is set to open this Friday. Brothers Derek Jessup and Jeffrey Jessup are co-owners of this shop, and they hope to create a new community on the south side of Muncie.
On the south side here of Muncie, there's really not much over here, so we're excited to finally be able to give the people of this community something that's not here.
A farm-to-fork coffee shop, complete with a breakfast and lunch menu.
We actually have our own herd of cows and pigs. We've actually purchased a bull that we're going to try to get into breeding, and that way we can keep our herd growing. That way we can keep supplying the shop.
And a staff with faith for the future.
I left a union job at a glass factory to come do this. One, because I love cooking, and two, because I've got total faith in both these guys. I mean, their work ethic is second to none.
And the homemade coffee syrups aren't the only hospitality they provide.
I really want to get it to where when you walk in this door, we know you, we know your order, and then, just that interaction that we can have. Because the whole idea here is we want to make everybody's day a lot better than what before they walked in the building.
From analyzing traffic to find the busiest hours in the day to coordinating with contractors, a business was born.
Walking in and seeing what we had, and now seeing what we've got, and all that work that we've done. I mean, there's literally blood, sweat, and tears in this place from everyone.
In Muncie, Newslink, Indiana, Catherine Segal.
Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you all like the cold, because if you like the cold, you're going to enjoy these temperatures here. As you see here, the temperatures right now are pretty brutal. We're sitting in the 20s as we speak right now. I see the local weather still popping up right now. There we go, guys. 25 degrees is our temperature in Indianapolis, 28 degrees in Muncie, 26 degrees in Kokomo at this hour. Factor in those winds, and those winds going to make it feel a whole lot colder. Right now, we're seeing those wind gusts about 15 to 20 miles an hour in the viewing area, and it's creating a wind chill. Look at these teens. We're sitting in the teens right now. 10 degrees in Indianapolis, 13 degrees in Kokomo, and it also feels like only 13 degrees in Lafayette. And it's going to get worse as we go throughout the weekend. More now on my full forecast. You see this radar? We do have some passive snow showers that's coming through our area right now. It's not going to have a whole lot in the way of accumulation, but it's going to have some slick spots. So be careful out there this morning. Leave yourself some extra time and some space between you and the vehicle ahead of you. The next 12 hours, you're going to see, yes, temperatures are not going to move very much. I'll have all that coming up in my full forecast. Back to you all at the desk.
Two of the four University of Idaho students killed last weekend, now seen in a video taken just hours before their death, doing the most typical of college activities, ordering from a food truck and chatting happily with friends. Meanwhile, authorities still have no suspect or weapon. Mike Valerio has the latest on the investigation.
Video that authorities say has helped them in the murder investigation of four University of Idaho students captured on a food truck's Twitch live stream. Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonsalves are seen ordering $10 worth of food and chatting with other friends just hours before they were brutally killed, along with two others. The time of their visit, about 1:41 a.m. That's helping police narrow down a timeline of the killings they say happened within the next few hours. But they currently have not identified a suspect.
They believe that this was what they call a targeted attack and not just a random act of violence. The fact of the matter is that whoever is responsible for these murders is still at large.
Authorities were not called to the home until noon Sunday, when they say somebody reported an unconscious person. They found the bodies of Mogan and Gonsalves, along with Xana Kernoodle and Ethan Chapin, all stabbed to death.
There was other people home at that time, but we're not just focusing just on them, we're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from that residence.
The quadruple homicide has rocked the community of Moscow, Idaho, which hasn't recorded a murder since 2015, according to state police data.
Being a student at the University of Idaho, we've had a real privilege of not having to have safety be on the forefront of our minds 24/7. This is a wound that is deep and will take a long time to heal.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
The Waukesha Christmas Parade is back on this year after last year's deadly attack. 6 people were killed and dozens of others were injured when an SUV plowed into attendees. To honor those victims, a truck with a special message will join the parade. Charles Benson reports.
So are you looking forward to the parade?
I am.
It's a moving mural in every sense of the word. Terry Rutledge gets to drive it around Waukesha County and at the city's Christmas parade.
So this truck is $450,000, but it has a priceless paint job.
Every detail painted on the plows, from the Waukesha Strong symbol to the blue lights and 6 hearts with angel wings, was a team effort thanks to 11 students from Waukesha South High School. He still fights back tears just thinking about it.
Some of the students that were painting on the plow were actually in the parade, so it's kind of emotional for them and for me. I shared my vision, and the plow kind of evolved as they were painting.
What does Waukesha Strong mean to you?
Waukesha Strong means to me unity, strength. This truck has strength. The paint job was done in unity.
Here's what the truck looked like right after it was painted. It debuted in the Memorial Day parade, and it was a head turner.
I say it was probably one of the most photographed vehicles in a parade ever, because everybody had their cell phones out and taking snapshots of the plow.
Rutledge has been driving truck with the county for more than 40 years, but he has one very important assignment before he retires next month. What will it mean for you to be in that truck with this message going through the Christmas parade?
It'll be an honor to be in the Christmas parade this year.
Darrell Brooks was found guilty last month on all 76 counts stemming from the parade attack. Wednesday, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of extended supervision.
And just ahead, lab-grown chicken might be on the market soon. Find out what the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is saying.
That's after your weather now.
Welcome back. The time is currently 8:08 and you're taking a live look outside at campus. And let me tell you, it was slick outside this morning, but the stars were putting on a show. So let's check out a glow of cosmic chaos was captured by the James Webb Space Telescope. The image shows us what our sun and solar system look like in their infancy. You can see the hourglass-shaped cloud of gas and dust. The dark line across the middle is a protoplanetary disk, which is dense gas and dust that could form a planet in the future about the size of our solar system. The young star in its cloud is pretty young, only about 100,000 years old, compared to our sun, which is 4.6 billion years old. Wow, that is quite beautiful. Now let's toss over to Oliver for national weather.
Well, 4.6 billion is definitely the temperature of Muncie, as we can see here with this national temperature. We're sitting at 28 degrees here in Muncie, 2 degrees up there in Billings, 49 degrees down there in Los Angeles. generally throughout the 20s, throughout the entire nation. And we are almost hitting our high here in Muncie today. The high today in Cincinnati is 30 degrees. Again, generally in those upper 20s throughout the entire country. 64 degrees down there in Los Angeles and a high of 76 degrees in Miami Beach. What a great time to go down to Florida. But looking at these temperatures, the 6 to 10 day outlook, what are we going to be expecting? Well, out here out west, we are going to be seeing above average temperatures, but as we move more eastward, we are going to be seeing those below average temperatures. Definitely not as cold as this past week has been, but definitely keeping it on the cool side. Looking at our current watches and warnings up here in Montana, again, they have a temperature of 2 degrees right now, and they currently have a wind chill advisory throughout most parts of Montana, and we have just a regular wind advisory up there in North Dakota. Looking at Michigan, though, we are seeing a winter storm warning. That's these pink bits here in the southwest parts of Michigan, as well as in the northwest parts of that mitt, and just winter weather advisory throughout most of the western part of the state. We also see a little bit of that winter storm warning up there in Wisconsin, but this is a little bit new. You don't usually see a freeze warning this far south in the country, but as you can see here, most of southern Louisiana, as well as a couple bits of the Florida Panhandle and a little bit of Georgia as well, under a freeze warning. So definitely the whole nation is seeing those cooler temperatures. Now looking at the current radar, again, we do have that storm system moving through Arkansas, and again, those winter storms up there in Michigan, most likely going to be seeing a little bit of snow here and there in the state of Indiana and throughout the entire Ohio Valley for today. But Ryan will have all that and more in his full forecast.
Thank you, Oliver. Yeah, I'm definitely wanting to stay inside, and someone else is wanting to stay inside. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is giving lab-grown chicken the green light. California-based Upside Foods will be able to start selling its products once its facilities have been inspected by the Department of Agriculture. The FDA said it had evaluated the information submitted by Upside Foods and deemed it safe. So far, the FDA has only given clearance for chicken made from cultured chicken cells by Upside. Upside founder and CEO Uma Valetti has described the process as similar to brewing beer, but instead of growing yeast or microbes, they grow animal cells. The agency expects these products to be ready for the U.S. market in the near future.
And Tyson is recalling about 94,000 pounds of ground beef. It comes after consumers reported finding some type of mirror-like material in the beef. Neither Tyson nor the Department of Agriculture have offered any explanation as to what that material might be. The impacted meat was only sold in Texas at H-E-B, Joe V's, Mi Tienda, and Central Market grocery stores. It was branded under the name Hill Country Fare in 5 and 10-pound containers of ground beef and ground chuck. Additional details about how to identify impacted meat is available on the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service website.
It's the Great American Smokeout, a day the American Cancer Society hopes will encourage smokers to put down their cigarettes. But quitting is no easy feat. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has some tips on how you can increase your chances for success.
It's no secret cigarette smoking can be deadly, killing more than 480,000 people in the U.S. every year, according to the CDC.
Being told over and over again that it's bad for you, having your face rubbed in it, does no good.
That's why Dr. Michael Wirt with Ohio State University's Comprehensive Cancer Center takes a different approach with patients who want to quit smoking.
I tell people everybody has bad habits. We're all kind of in the same boat.
Wirt says many longtime smokers think the damage is done and there's no point in quitting, but that's not true.
With even a few days, you feel better. Your sense of smell and taste can come back. Within a few months, your lungs will just become healthier. You'll be able to cough out your mucus more easily. Some of your lung function will recover.
Wirt says those benefits continue the longer you go without cigarettes. Since everyone is different, there isn't one way to quit that will fit all, but he says reducing the amount you smoke over time may help.
Hey, maybe next time I see you in 3 months, instead of smoking 20, 25 cigarettes, maybe you'll be down to 15 cigarettes.
If reducing cigarettes in increments won't work, Wirt says other things can help, including prescription drugs to reduce cravings and nicotine replacement therapies like gum, lozenges, or patches. Things like hypnosis and acupuncture might also work for some.
The sooner you quit smoking, the quicker you'll be able to realize some of those long-term health benefits.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
In just a moment, Ball State Women's Volleyball is hosting the MAC Championship for the second year in a row.
That's after a message with Mitts.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitts will take you there.
Welcome back to Cardinal Weather. I'm Dylan Selke.
And I'm Max Robson. The MAC Championship once again resides in the city of Muncie. Congratulations to the Lady Cards for winning the MAC regular season title for the second year in a row.
And Ball State is the #1 seed coming into the tournament, and the MAC Championship will take place at Worthen Arena. And head coach Kelly Miller-Phillips looks to appear in her third straight MAC tournament as well. And hey, let's take a look at what the Cardinals did to get here.
Well, to get that #1 seed, firstly, they were leading the MAC in hitting percentage and total points with a 23-7 total record while going 12-1 at home. That's going to be huge for the girls, being 12-1 at home, because that means they already have that home court advantage, and winning that many games in a row is going to be perfect for them. Against their MAC opponents, they have swept 7 out of their 15 games against those girls, and they're looking to keep it up. If their key players can keep it up, the rest of the team will follow.
Absolutely. And shifting into key players, I'm going to go ahead and start off with mine. Megan Wolonsky, the sophomore setter, won MAC Freshman of the Year last year and also leads the team in assists with 1,230, the next highest being only Maggie Huber with 93. That is an absurd stat. And also, she leads the team, or is second on the team in digs with 356 as well.
Well, looking to where she sets it the most, senior middle 2021 first team All-MAC Marie Plitt. She is 298 kills on the season and 77 blocks as well. She's doing it both offensively and defensively. If these two girls can keep up their chemistry, everyone else will follow, and they will have a breeze to this tournament championship.
Absolutely, and let's take a look at when you can catch these tournament matchups in Muncie.
Well, on Sunday, November 20th, number 4 Central Michigan will be playing against number 5 Toledo at 4:30 p.m. and number 3 Ohio will be facing off against number 6 Buffalo at 7 p.m.
And on Monday, Ball State will face the winner of Central Michigan versus Toledo as well. Bowling Green, number 2 overall, will face the winner of Ohio versus Buffalo. And then we'll have the championship game on Tuesday, November 22nd as well. And Max, shifting into predictions, what do you think the odds are that Ball State is able to go back-to-back in tournament wins?
I mean, I think that they're pretty high. If their key players can play well, they are going to do great. The one team I'm worried about is Central Michigan. They have their only home loss against them, and it was a 1-3 loss. And then they also have a 2-3 loss against them in this season. So if they can go against Central Michigan and win, they are going to win this tournament.
Absolutely. And looking at the other side of the bracket, the most likely candidates to face Ball State if the Cardinals are able to get to the championship game, Ohio and Bowling Green. During the season, Ohio went 1-1 against Ball State as well, lost to 1-3 to the Cardinals, and also won 1-3 to the Cardinals as well. And Bowling Green was beat by the Cardinals as well. And so I think both of those teams are going to be hard matchups for the Cardinals. However, I do think the Cardinals come in as the favorite and are the likelihood to go back-to-back in the MAC championship victories as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to these 3 straight days of volleyball. It's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely. I'm super excited for it. Going into Thanksgiving break right beforehand, we've got matchups every single day. So if you live in the Muncie area or you attend Ball State, I'd absolutely encourage you to go to attend these games because they're going to be super enjoyable to watch. And let's send it over to Ryan with local weather.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Max. I hope when you do go to that game that you dress accordingly, because you're going to need to dress accordingly here because those temperatures are going to be quite brutal here. Now you're going to also see for today, you're going to have windy conditions. Those temperatures are going to be cold, and of course, like I just said, those wind chills are going to be pretty brutal as you go throughout the weekend there. Now you look at this radar right now, you see that we have some snow in our area. Look at Michigan, and also go take your attention to New York and parts of Buffalo. They're seeing up to where it's 2 to 4 feet of snow. Some areas are seeing much more in that way of snow. So they're getting hammered really hammered by the snow. But luckily we don't have to see any of that in our area. But with the big story we have to worry about is that cold. And I'm going to show you here on these temperatures. 25 degrees in Indianapolis, 28 in Muncie, 26 in Kokomo, and 25 in Lafayette at this hour. You factor in those winds, makes it feel like we're only in the teens at this hour. Yes, guys. And it's going to get worse here. I'm going to show you how it's going to get worse because these winds are going to be a factor as we go throughout the day on Saturday. 31-mile winds in Muncie, 31 in Winchester. And if you factor that in, you want to factor in these windshields as well because they're going to make it feel a whole lot worse. Look at this. We're only going to be in the teens as we go throughout the day on Saturday. We're going to warm up to the feel like temperature is going to warm up into the 20s. But then look at it, brutally cold temperatures as we go throughout the day on Sunday morning. This is not the feel like air temperature. This is how it feels outside when you factor in those winds. So priority is going to be those hats, gloves, and those big coats because you're going to need them as we go throughout the day on Sunday morning as well. Pardon me. 26 degrees is going to be the temperature for today. And we're not going to warm up much, guys. We're not going to warm up. We're going to be at 28 degrees. Well, as a matter of fact, the next 2 or 3 days, we're not going to warm up very much as we go throughout the course of the weekend. 16 degrees is going to be our low temperature for tonight. Winds going to be coming out of the west at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and I'll just stay in this weekend, guys. Yes, 31 degrees is our high. That's going to be the warm temperature for the weekend. But then we go here for Sunday, 28. Yes, and with those winds, it's going to make it feel a whole lot colder than it actually is. And of course, with those winds, this is the first time since March the 12th that we have seen temperature at 20 degrees or cooler here. 26 degrees was the last time we've seen a temperature that cold. It was March the 12th. Thanksgiving is going to be a little bit more optimistic because we're going to see warmer temperatures and that nice Thanksgiving food, which is 6 days away. You see that here on my 7-day forecast here. 28 degrees. We had to get through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before we see that warm-up. Look at this warm-up here. We're back in the 50s on Tuesday and Wednesday. Yes, Tuesday and Wednesday. We're back in the 50s. And Turkey Day, 47 degrees. But look at that overnight low for Saturday night into Sunday. Yes, 11 degrees. Yes. Now with those windshields, that windshield factor, it makes it feel like it's going to be below zero. So out there, so hat, gloves, and a coat, main priority there.
Wow, very cold, but I'm excited to hear that the temperatures are going to warm up for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Yeah, the snow is definitely starting to put me in the Christmas spirit. And speaking of Christmas, if the iPhone 14 is on your Christmas list, it may be harder than usual to find one before the holidays. And if you haven't already ordered the new phone, you may be out of luck. According to Apple's website, the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max are showing as unavailable for pickup in most locations. And UBS, which tracked iPhone availability in 30 countries, found the shipping time in the United States to be 34 days. Many cities now show delivery dates of December 28th or later. Apple said they do sometimes ship products ahead of the stated delivery date. The wait times come as Apple confronts supply chain constraints and increased COVID-19 restrictions at its main assembly facility in China.
It's being called a Red Cup Rebellion. More than 2,000 Starbucks workers in 112 stores went on strike yesterday. This also came on the iconic Red Cup Day. It's when customers get red cups with certain purchases that entitle them to discounts and extra points on future purchases. The union says the strike is to protest the retaliation against union supporters. It also says the company is refusing to bargain with the union on its first labor deal. The Labor Relations Board also taking action. It filed a national cease and desist order to prevent the coffee giant from retaliating against union supporters. No word on which stores will be affected and if they will be able to stay open.
Coming up, Cambridge Dictionary announced their word of the year. Find out what inspired this decision.
That's after your weather now.
From the heart of Ball State to the heart of your community, NewsLink Indiana brings you local and state news you care about. We pride ourselves with giving you the most reliable news coverage, stories that affect you, linking you to the community each night on air and online. NewsLink Indiana, bringing news to the heart of your community.
Welcome back. One of Andy Warhol's silkscreen prints of a mangled car crash sold for $85.4 million at auction. Sotheby's auction house in New York called the sum, quote, monumental. Titled White Disaster, created in 1963, is a colossal image from the artist's Death and Disaster series. For the artwork, Warhol duplicated a single image of an automobile accident 19 times in black and white. It's 12 feet tall and 6 feet wide, making it the largest of his car crash works. Before the sale, White Disaster had been held in a private collection for 25 years.
A Southwest Airlines passenger found themselves without their phone at Long Beach Airport in Los Angeles after the plane had already boarded. However, Southwest staff quickly contacted the ground crew in a last-minute attempt to get the phone back to its owner. What happens next was captured on video. Take a look. A pilot leaned way out of the cockpit window while a ramp worker on the ground jumped up to hand the cell phone to him.
The Colorado ski season is off to a fast start. 3 ski areas were opened by November 1st. The lifts are already in use at a total of 9 resorts. Corey Reppenhagen reports.
What's the stoke level today?
The chairs started running at Winter Park Resort this year on Halloween.
No one could miss you on the mountain.
There's a level of excitement. It's history making.
Woo! Yes! The earliest opening day in the resort's 83-year history.
It's pretty significant that we were able to open in October.
The credit is being given to the snowmaking team and Mother Nature.
Everything came together in a very perfect way.
The snow did come early and often.
We had about 2 feet, I think.
But certainly not enough to open a ski run. In fact, a weather station in town shows that Winter Park actually got more snow last October. But Jen Miller says there was something different about this October's weather.
The snowmakers said it was really good conditions, and yes, it needs to be dry. The humidity plays a huge factor.
Lower humidity, colder temperatures, and more cloud cover this year allowed the snow guns to be more efficient, maybe the best conditions since they started their snowmaking operation more than 50 years ago. She also says an early layer of dense man-made snow on the ground is good at catching nature's flakes when they come.
Will allow us to take better advantage of early season storms.
What's up, homie?
At least early on, this winter is not interested in hearing about the effects of La Nina or the outlook of a warmer future.
Yes, it's sort of ironic that given where we are in terms of our planet and our climate.
Every ski season has its ups and downs, but Miller hopes the weather holds.
If you believe in the Farmer's Almanac, it's supposed to be ideal for good snow.
Frustration with the game Wordle led to Cambridge Dictionary's word of the year, which is homer, short for home run. Earlier this year, it caused outrage by non-American Wordle users when many players could not guess the American slang word. Cambridge ended up choosing the word because on May 5th, the word homer was searched for on Cambridge's dictionary over 65,000 times.
No more achy breaky heart for Billy Ray Cyrus. The singer and actor announced to People magazine that he's now engaged to 34-year-old Australian singer Fire Rose. This comes 5 months after his former wife Tish Cyrus filed for divorce from him after 28 years of marriage. Billy Ray says he met Fire Rose 12 years ago at Walt Disney Studios. He says their friendship turned into a create partnership. The two have also released a new single titled Time. And now over to Eric for a final look at weather.
Well, actually, those temperatures, brutal, guys. I hope you all bring those hats and gloves with you, especially this weekend as you go throughout this week. 11 degrees, yes. Sunday morning it's 11 degrees. So if you're going out, yeah, make sure those hats and gloves and coats are with you. But we do have a warm up as we go through the early part of next week. As you see temperatures back in the 50s, and Turkey Day it's going to be in the 40s.
Well, thank you, Ryan. That's all for Cardinal weather for this Friday morning. Thank you for joining.
We'll see you next Friday. Have a great rest of your Friday and a fantastic weekend.